Few creatures on our planet are as quick and agile as martens are, but the thing that's most interesting about them is how focused on their prey they can get. They never even stop to think once they spot an animal small or vulnerable enough to be an easy meal for them. And once they launch their attack, there's no stopping them, which is exactly what we're about to see today. No matter your hiding place, if a hungry marten wants to get to you, it will find a way. These defenseless little birds thought that nothing could get to them in their fancy wooden box, but as soon as the marten spotted it, the hunt was on. It climbed all the way up to the birdhouse and stuck its hand inside, trying to pull one of the terrified birds out to eat. One after the other, the greedy marten dragged the helpless birds out kicking and screaming, and all that any of them could do was hope that it wasn't next. Having no one to protect you as a newborn in the wild almost always results in a horrific and painful death. But oftentimes, newborn animals end up dying in ways that are just as horrific, with their parents standing right there. Martens are certainly not big enough to hunt fully grown deer, although they do try quite often. So what they do instead is target the little fawns. It's called the reverse Bambi. No, I'm just kidding. But this little fawn ended up getting absolutely destroyed right in front of its helpless mother. The marten was focused on one thing and one thing alone: to make sure that the poor little thing doesn't get away alive. The struggle lasted for some time, and the heartbroken mother soon realized that it wasn't going to be able to rescue its fawn, and she decided to flee, leaving the unfortunate little fawn to face its fate alone. Another baby deer found itself being targeted by a hungry marten here, and the small little creature's mother wasn't around this time. The marten immediately jumped on the little deer's back as soon as it spotted it, and even though the little deer could barely walk, it tried its best to get away. The marten knew that the helpless baby wasn't going to be able to go anywhere, and that's why it was taking it easy on it and toying with it. It tried to get on top of it and bite the back of its neck like it usually does, but for some reason, it eventually decided to abandon the hunt and walk away. Why do you guys think it did that? Please share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Baby leopards are, of course, very different from baby deers, but would they really do better against a hungry marten? Let's take a look. This marten was lucky enough to come across a baby leopard that was unsupervised for some reason, and it didn't hesitate to attack. The marten was slightly bigger than the baby leopard in size, but the size wasn't the issue here. The marten was older, with a more developed brain and more experience in both hunting and fighting. The little leopard may have been born agile, but there was no way that that was going to help it win a fight against a veteran and determined killer like an adult marten. Sadly, the clip was cut too short, and we have no idea what happened next. But the good thing is that the baby leopard was still fighting back as hard as it could, so maybe it managed to get away in the end. As confrontational and aggressive as raccoons can be, they too get targeted by martens, even though martens are smaller in size. This raccoon happened to cross paths with a grumpy marten, and even though raccoons are the ones who usually pick fights, the raccoon clearly wanted no trouble. But it did stand too close to the marten, which got annoyed and immediately attacked the raccoon before running off. The raccoon was lucky it ended like that. A favorite target for martens are rats, as they are small enough to defeat easily, but fat enough to make a good meal. This rat was no exception. And the marten that targeted it was no less hungry or brutal. The rat was absolutely terrified, as one would imagine, but its legs failed to carry it away fast enough from the impending doom. It was an easy target to catch, and it wasn't very hard to defeat either. The rat kept struggling out of fear, but it knew that its fate was sealed, and once the vicious marten sunk its teeth into the rat's neck, the fight was over, and the poor rat was left twitching on the ground as life left its exhausted body. Guess who this next marten's target is? Someone's pet cat! The family had taken the cat for a ride with them, and the cat left the car to explore the woods. A few moments later, a hungry marten spotted it, and it started planning its attack. Thankfully, the cat returned before anything bad happened to it. This marten came barging into a goosander's nest, aiming to devour it. The goosander fought back for a few seconds, but quickly realized that winning against the marten was practically impossible. So, instead of continuing to risk its life, the goosander decided to play dead instead, confusing the marten that was eager for a fight. The marten didn't buy it at first, and it kept biting the goosander's neck to try and get a reaction from it. But the goosander never even flinched. Finally, the fooled marten left the nest, and the goosander sprung back up and quickly got out of the nest and fled. Did you enjoy this video? Please let us know in the comments section down below. And don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And please, turn on your notifications bell to get notified when we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.